2 years ago, Florida sellers flooded the market as prices soared and developers raced to build. But in October 2025, that frenzy suddenly reversed course. Sellers are saying no thanks to current prices. With new listings shrinking by over 7% through the summer and statewide delistings exploding 60%, the market's once desperate sellers are vanishing, refusing to cut deals even as buyers hold out for bargains. The inventory shock is so severe that experts warn it could create a standoff, one that could either prop up prices or trigger a freeze unlike anything Florida has seen. But why are sellers pulling back now? And what does this rebellion mean for the fate of the entire housing market? Florida's population surge during the pandemic wasn't just a headline, it was a stampede. In 2022 alone, more than 314,000 new residents poured into the state, chasing sun, space, and the promise of remote work. U-Haul trucks ran out by March. Miami's rental agents fielded calls from New Yorkers and Californians offering 6 months rent up front, sight unseen. In Tampa, Anna Alvarez, a teacher from Chicago, arrived with her husband and 2 young kids, convinced they'd found their forever home. For families like Anna's, the move felt urgent. Mortgage rates hovered near 3%, and the cost of a 4-bedroom in Orlando looked like a bargain compared to a cramped apartment up north. Every week brought stories of bidding wars, cash offers, and homes selling in hours. By the end of 2022, Florida's net migration had reached its highest level in decades. Developers took notice. New subdivisions sprouted from Jacksonville to Naples, promising resort pools, dog parks, and open-concept kitchens. The demand seemed bottomless. At open houses, lines snaked down the driveway and buyers waived inspections just to get a foot in the door. If we don't buy now, we'll never get in, Anna remembers thinking. For a while, it looked like Florida's growth would never hit a ceiling until the momentum turned, a shift we've been tracking closely here on Roofline Report. So make sure you're subscribed to follow how fast this reversal unfolds. Cranes once dotted the skyline from Miami to Tampa, moving steel and glass at a fever pitch. By 2025, South Florida alone had more than 16,000 new apartment units in the pipeline. But as these projects finished, demand began to cool. The math changed fast. In Cape Coral, new home inventory swelled past 3,000 by January, 4 times the count from just 3 years earlier. Even national giants like Lennar and D.R. Horton slowed projects, bracing for a correction. Building permits that once soared through 2022 and 2023 began falling in double digits statewide. New listings in Florida faded month after month, erasing the steady rhythm of supply that once defined the market. By July, new listings were down nearly 5% year over year. By August, almost 8%. 5 straight months of decline, each steeper than the last. What should have been peak selling season instead became a slow-motion retreat. The question now isn't how low prices will go, but how many sellers are even left willing to play the game. Miami and Tampa became ground zero for this seller pullback. In Miami-Dade, for every 100 new listings, nearly 60 were withdrawn. Tampa followed close behind. Realtor.com's charts showed both cities leading the nation in delistings week after week. These weren't distressed properties, they were deliberate withdrawals. Owners with locked-in 3% rates and strong equity simply refused to accept low offers. Some shifted to pocket listings or rentals. Others just waited, betting time was on their side. Data from Altos Research confirmed the turn. In early October, CEO Mike Simonson reported that Florida's inventory was finally declining, the first reversal in over 2 years. Realtor.com backed it up, showing the same steady drop since May, down 2%, then nearly 8% by late summer. Together, they painted one conclusion: sellers have stepped away, rewriting the market's rules. In August 2025, Florida's median home price settled at $410,000, just 4.6% below the record high set in April 2024. Homes linger on the market for 51 days, far longer than during the pandemic frenzy, but sellers aren't blinking. Inventory sits at 5.3 months supply, down from earlier peaks, 2 straight months of shrinking availability. The panic is gone, replaced by a slow, stubborn standoff, near record prices, longer waits, and fewer deals. For Ana Alvarez in Tampa, the numbers are personal. Her 3% mortgage from 2022 keeps her payment hundreds lower than what new buyers face at 6.3%. Selling now would double her costs, even if she bought the same house again. Like millions across Florida, she's locked in and staying put. This lock-in effect is no theory. Nearly 8 in 10 Florida homeowners bought or refinanced under 4%. Trading that rate for today's costs simply isn't an option. Sellers aren't desperate. They're dug in. Miami tells its own story. Single-family inventory hit 6.4 months in August, condos nearly 10. Yet prices barely moved because sellers vanished instead of negotiating. Just up the coast, Fort Lauderdale kept a fragile balance, inventory tighter, demand steadier, median sales above $530,000. Across the region, one pattern held: if the number doesn't match, the home disappears. Builders felt it next. Carlos Gutierrez, who spent 2 decades building across Central Florida, shut down 2 subdivisions this spring. Streets paved, foundations poured, no buyers in sight. D.R. Horton and Leonard froze new starts in Cape Coral and Miami-Dade. Permits collapsed, suppliers canceled orders, and crews stood down. Some builders pivoted to rentals instead of sales, holding inventory and waiting for stability. That new strategy, hold and rent, spread fast. 1 in 5 delisted homes reappeared as rentals within 2 months. A Miami condo listed for $800,000 to $40,000 was pulled, then relisted for rent at $4,200 a month. Its owner's 3.1% mortgage covers the costs easily. It's a new kind of patience, profitable patience, and it's reshaping the market beneath the surface. Meanwhile, insurance costs have become the invisible wrecking ball. In Miami-Dade, premiums now top $12,000 a year, double what owners paid 3 years ago. In Broward County, even modest condos face $8,000 renewals. Many insurers have left altogether, pushing owners into state-run coverage with higher deductibles. For some, it's the final straw. For others, just another reason to stay put. Economists like Chen Zhao at Redfin see 2 paths ahead. One, that falling inventory props up prices, steadying a fragile market. Or 2, that any economic jolt or hurricane could break the standoff overnight, flooding the market with forced sales. Zhao's take is clear. Falling inventory after 2 years of increases could help stabilize prices, but affordability remains a wall. Mortgage rates north of 6% and soaring insurance costs keep real buyers sidelined. Florida's seller standoff isn't just a local story, it's spreading across the Sun Belt. From Texas to the Carolinas, agents report the same trend: homeowners with low mortgage rates simply refusing to sell. Builders are pausing projects, investors are stepping back, and first-time buyers are watching listings vanish mid-negotiation. The same script, new states. In August 2025, Florida's median price still hovered near $410,000, with new listings falling for 5 straight months and delistings up 60%. It's a market defined less by momentum than by absence. Fewer sellers, fewer deals, and fewer chances to buy. And as we've seen again and again here on Roofline Report, when supply disappears, the real story begins. So if you want to stay ahead of what happens next, make sure you're subscribed.